Hey folks, it's me, Spider, back with another creator video. Now you're probably wondering who is this person? Who is this person that I'm doing the video on? I've never heard of him. Well, let me introduce you to Optation, which reminds me, let's do the thing we normally do. This is every rated Optation level. Now, why Optation, you might be wondering? Well, I actually had a bit of a soft spot for Optation's like gameplay like quite some time ago, but I was either too busy to do it, or I just was not trying to do it because of how scary his gameplay looked for a lack of. Excuse me, I had a burp there. But how scary his gameplay looked, I was like, no. What if I spend like months on this? Not maybe months, but like a good month just trying to beat an Optation level, and honestly, it wasn't like that. So, let's just get right into it, because the levels I want to talk about, you guys gotta experience for your own or watch them through the video, and I want to say they are definitely worth playing and watching. So, without further ado, please enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys for the outro / results.
Switch! Please don't let me explode like thunder. Well, I won't see you around. I'll slip away into sweet and somber. Cause you can knock me down, but I will only come back stronger. Run from me.
Hey folks, glad you guys stuck around or skipped to the very end for, of course, the results/outro. Now, I guess, let's just get into it, because I have a lot to say about Optation, and it's mostly good. Don't worry, Optation, if you're somehow watching this, I've only got good things to say. Mostly. So, first off, let's get the results up here. Results screen pop down for me, thank you. And we're going to go into the decoration. Now, Optation gameplay, talk about that later. Optation decoration, honestly, in the beginning, I could see that there was a style to it. There was Optation had a very distinct style to me. And I knew if I saw Optation build in a level, I'd be like, oh, this is him. This is Optation. But it was early on with his earlier levels, like Switch and Sonar, and what is it, Cosmic Corruption, and I was just like, I know I can tell, but I'll be honest, it didn't really honestly no, because that would be a lie. Optation decoration really started to stand out to me very early on. I'm not gonna act like it didn't, and I think it was at its most oh, you could tell he built here when I played Caliber. That's how it worked for me. I was like, oh, this guy's got a distinct style. And he only continued to prove it with his levels getting better as they continued on. But first off, the decoration, right? I gotta glaze this. I'm glazing this gameplay to the max. This decoration to the max. Honestly, I would give Optation decoration a 10 out of 10. I love the fact that I can tell whenever he builds something that I'm like, he built this. And if he does a collab, he's hosted a couple of collabs for himself on his account, and you can tell, other than the obvious Optation name and the parts or whatever for some of the stuff he does, you could tell that is Optation. And that alone isn't enough to warrant a 10 out of 10, but then he stayed consistent with it, and he kept making bangers, Explorers, banger, Mass Production, banger, Caliber, I think it was Caliber, right? I think it was Caliber, banger, Motion 52, bangers, bro. The decoration, it literally just never stopped, and he never stopped showing up, especially when I got to Explorers, man, I was like, oh man, this level is beautiful. In the Blazing Industry, I was like, man, this decoration is kind of crazy, but I love it. Netrunner, Game Over, and then Above the Cloud, very good, very good. I'm glazing this to the max. 10 out of 10 decoration. I think his decoration is so distinct that you could probably put this up there with the great, just for how great. I keep using the word great. It is very good though. You can hear it. You can hear it in me. I love this man's decoration, and for that, easy 10 out of 10 for me. Now, Optation gameplay. Oh boy, y'all ain't ready. Honestly, I'm giving Optation's gameplay a 10 out of 10 because I legitimately did not hate playing any of this man's levels. The only level that scared me from playing from zero was Blazing Industry, and that was just simply because it was a hard demon. And the thing with hard demons is I'm not actually sure if it's a medium demon disguised as a hard demon, an actual hard demon, or insane demon that doesn't get enough credit it deserves. So I was very scared about that, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was oh, I could probably beat this in a day, and then I did. I took a nap and then I woke up and I beat it, and it was very, very, very cool. But that's not just for Blazing Industry. I enjoyed his gameplay, especially in his hard, not his only his demons. I enjoyed Motion 52. That gameplay was awesome. I did also Chaos, or not Chaos, Cosmic Chaos. Volume was pretty good too. He just had banger gameplay across the board, but where Demons is where he can really show what he's made of, in my opinion. And that really becomes clear with levels like Caliber, Futurelocked, Mass Production, Explorers, and All Up. He really didn't miss. Now, if I had to, like, complain about one thing, it was probably this is probably the most nitpicky thing in the world, and probably is more an issue on my end, but I really did not like the random, like, stupid wave part, the only wave part in Blazing Industry. That was so annoying. It wasn't bad, it was just, like, it had to be so deep into the level, like, really, we can't be doing this, right? But I'm gonna still give the gameplay, like, in general, overall, a 10 out of 10, because I'm not going to let, this is my ranking, so you guys have no say in it. I'm gonna still give it a 10 out of 10, you know, despite my one little nitpick, because the game, like, his gameplay is too good for me to just be like, this is gonna knock it down to, like, a 9.9 or a 9.5. Like, we're better than this. So, I'm not going to allow that. And I think one of his levels that will definitely stick out to me the most will be Blazing Industry, because the gameplay, the song, like, that collab was a very good job from everyone. I really do appreciate a good level like that. It also, you know, kind of shows me, like, hey man, you're not completely washed, you could still beat some hard stuff, you got a little bit of fight in you before you drop dead in the game or something like that. I don't know. One day I'm just gonna be like, I can't play this game anymore. I'm sticking to 5 stars or whatever. Something like that. But I'm not gonna just only glaze Blazing Industry. Explorers was really fun too. Caliber was really great too. I can't believe I was really consistent with Explorers for it to be as fun as it was. And I beat it in like maybe 4 attempts after I was done practicing it. Game over. Game over, man. That was such a fun level. Like, the sync in that was amazing. I enjoyed the gameplay so much, the decoration. It's all beautiful. And then, if I had to rank the coins, too, because the coins are definitely in here. Optation coins... and... you know what? No. I'll give them an 8 out of 10. I'm overthinking it. Like, the coins themselves aren't the easiest things to get, but they're not, like... we're gonna put you in challenge and make you pull your hair out, frame perfects or whatever. It's just a nice little, hey, if you want this coin, you can get it. You can go out of your way and get it real quick. Not nothing too crazy. If you just want it, you can get it. And I do appreciate that. And I'm not a coin grinder in the slightest, but I was like, I'll put an effort into getting these, and if they're stupid, then I'm gonna ignore them. And, yeah, I really did it. And that's, the coins are just that. 8 out of 10. I can't complain about the coins. I can't complain about them. They were just really good at what they did, and that's just it. So, that wraps up the results. Dude, I was yapping. Holy, goes to show how much I loved Optation's levels, right? But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I know Optation is gonna continue to create their great levels and whatnot, and I'm gonna definitely be around to play them. And I can't wait to see whatever he makes next. I heard he was making an insane/extreme demon next. So I'm praying it's an insane demon for my health. Otherwise, I'm going to be very sad. But maybe I'll come around to beating that if it's an extreme in the future. For now, I just can't wait to see what he does next. And with that, I think I've got nothing more else to say. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked it. Dislike it if you dislike it. And I'm gonna catch you in the next video, whatever that is, because say it with me, folks, Spider doesn't know his schedule. And I'll see you guys later.